Good evening. Welcome to the Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting of May 11th, 2015. Call to order, Mr. Mahmood. In accordance with the State Sunshine Law of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Hillsborough Township Board of Education was provided on May 7th, 2015 to the Hillsborough Beacon and Courier News. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Thank you, Mrs. Haley. Ms. Bogoshevsky?
Here.
Ms. Santafonte? Mr. Cohen? Here. Mr. Dutta? Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Mrs. Haas?
Here.
Mrs. Haley?
Here.
Ms. Wasson?
Here.
And Mr. Kintz. We have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll let the students take the lead on that. So this evening is actually a unique meeting. It's our mid-year organization meeting. But first, I will turn it over to Dr. Schiff for his superintendent's report.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate us shifting around the agenda for a little bit because we do have many friends who are here in the audience tonight. We actually have two schools that we're going to spotlight this evening. Every month, we take a few minutes to share with the Board of Education as well as our parents and our community members some exceptional and extraordinary things that are going on throughout our district. And tonight, we have two schools, both Sunnymead and Triangle School, that are going to do a little showing off for us this evening. First, Sunnymead's fourth graders will demonstrate how technology was used to enhance and deepen their learning on their state research project on weather. And to introduce her students, our principal of Sunnymead Elementary is here, Dr. Tammy Jenkins.
Good evening, Dr. Schiff, members of the board, parents, students, and colleagues. It is a pleasure to be here before you this evening. As the very humble but yet proud principal of Sunnymead School, it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you actually my staff who are here with me today. Our fabulous fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Nancy Levinsky, and she is accompanied by her very talented, phenomenal colleague, our computer resource teacher, Mrs. Rinaldo, who is the heartbeat of our school. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Levinsky to come forward, and she's going to introduce our phenomenal fourth graders who have a wonderful presentation for us this evening. Mrs. Levinsky, thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Schiff, board members, parents, and families. Thank you for having us here tonight to share with you how the fourth grade students have integrated and embraced technology in the classroom. Tonight's presentation was created entirely by the students presenting here this evening.
Good afternoon, I'm Danielle Rotolo. We are students from Mrs. Levinsky's fourth grade class at Sunnymead School. The 7 of us created this presentation and are here tonight to tell you about how we use technology throughout our science weather unit. We use technology to tell you about how we use technology.
Hello, I'm Tommy Porowski. In library, we made a state poster. We gathered information about the state, such as the state abbreviations, the 3 largest cities, and famous landmarks. We use online resources to find information, and we use Google Draw to create our posters. In our science weather unit, we each use the state we research to collect weather data.
Hi, I'm Adrian Diaz, and this is the first version of our weather journals. We each had a weather journal to find the weather for the capital of our state. Everyone had to calculate the averages down on paper that we learned in math class. We have an app in our tablets called Weather Bug to track the weather of the capitals. The weather factors we found were temperature, precipitation, wind direction, wind speed, and humidity. This is the second version of our weather journals. There were two differences from our original weather journal. One is that we use a Google spreadsheet. We also learned how to write a formula to find the averages. We use this formula to find the averages for humidity and high and low temperatures.
During this project, the class used Google Draw to reinforce types of clouds and the weather that they bring. We also learned to insert pictures from various online sources. These are examples of some cloud posters.
Good evening. I am Lucas Scott. In class, we made a weather brochure based with a partner. The weather brochure looks like a vacation brochure, but is based on a severe type of weather. We made two sides for our brochures, an inside and an outside. These are the severe weather events we researched: blizzards, thunderstorms, tornadoes, and hurricanes. Each included tips for before, during, and after each storm, watches and warnings, as well as some interesting facts.
Good evening. I'm Kristen Russo. Some online resources on student links we used were World Book, World Almanac Kids, Kids Search Images, Weather Whiz Kids, Shepherd Software, and a variety of books from our Sunny library. Sources were cited on our weather brochures.
Here's an example of hurricanes created by Katie Weiner and Anna Salinas. Did you know a hurricane is as large as a hurricane is a large storm that can be up to 600 miles across? Here's another example of thunderstorms created by Yash Pudlikar and Stephanie Tubbedy. Did you know that thunderstorms are the most powerful electric storm in the atmosphere?
This is another brochure of tornadoes by Stephen Murillo and Joy Serino. A safety tip is, during a tornado, go to the lowest area of your house. A good spot is your basement. Stay away from windows and doors. And finally, here's blizzards created by Ella Bandola and Jackson Roberts. Another safety tip is, before a blizzard hits, prepare a disaster plan and a supplies kit.
Hello, I'm Catherine Weiner. To extend our weather unit, we performed 4 different Readers Theaters. We videotaped all the performances and added them to our class website so we can share them with our families. We are also the only students who can access the videos. Here are a small sampling of them. The Three Sisters. 3 sister mountains, a hiker and a ranger, are all in an earthquake. The hiker and ranger learned about earthquakes throughout their adventure up the mountain. Tornado. A small tornado hits a town and a group of people hide in a bathtub and stay away from windows. Wild weather. A family watched their favorite TV show and a sister and brother play a game where you can pretend to change the weather. It turns out that the game actually did change the weather. Above the clouds. A meteorologist gives a soggy weather report, and to make them better, they go above the clouds to see weather patterns forming.
In our morning journal, we wrote weather forecasts for our state by using the weather factors from our daily weather journals. We recorded meteorologist Danielle Biondi giving her forecasts. This is the footage that we caught.
Good morning, beautiful Austin, Texas. This is Channel 10 News. I'm your meteorologist with the most, Danielle Biondi, giving the weather for February 10th, 2015 from Sunnymead School. Today will be a lovely, clear day with a high of 81 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Wear shorts and a tank top or t-shirt as you enjoy outdoor activities often, but stay hydrated because humidity levels are at 93%. Today, it is calm with 0 mile per hour winds. Precipitation is at 0% today, so you don't have to be afraid of getting all your plans wet. Thank you for tuning in to Channel 10 News. Have a sunny day.
Thank you for allowing us to share with you tonight how we incorporate technology into our daily learning. I hope you liked our technological presentation.
Very impressive students. Big bow for the camera. We like that very much. Excellent job. Now we also have another elementary school who's here this evening. This is Triangle School, and the fourth graders will be highlighting their My Hero project using digital collages and music to celebrate everyday heroes. And here to share with us what they've been working on is their media specialist, Mrs. Barrera.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Schiff, parents, students, colleagues, particularly my Triangle family. My name is Taisha Gato-Barrera. I'm the media specialist at Triangle School. This is Maggie Crick. She is our music teacher, and it is our pleasure to share with you some of the amazing things that Triangle students have been doing this year with technology. And tonight, we'd especially like to highlight our fourth graders. Now, every fourth grade music show is a special one. It marks the year's end and the students' participation in their very final music program, final performance as a Triangle student. So during this year's music show, we've decided to highlight our everyday heroes. Now, the goal of the Triangle School fourth grade My Hero project was to use media, art, music, technology, all to celebrate those heroes. The students created digital collages, which celebrates moms and dads and grandparents and firefighters and police officers and teachers, everyone who's made a really positive impact on their lives. Now, these collages will be included in a presentation that will serve as a backdrop for our next music show. We'd like to share the students' collages with you tonight. They were created using Google Slides, and the students imported images of their loved ones, included quotes about heroes, and created word clouds, imported backgrounds, and layered them with real heartfelt expressions. Thanks to Ms. Crick, the presentation we'll share with you tonight includes a sampling of some of the most beautiful voices at Triangle, Mrs. Kaufman's fourth grade class.
Heroes are not just people we read or learn about in the media. They are ordinary people that we feel are extraordinary. Moms, dads, grandparents, teachers, and even principals influence our lives and encourage us to be the best that we can be. Every day there are challenges to take. Every day there are choices we must make, but come what may. Don't turn away, just seize the day.
technology programs and projects they've enjoyed most this year. Highlights include communicating with teachers via Gmail. If you can pause that.
Hello, I am Logan Eilbacher. Hello, I'm Neil Song. We're going to interview some people at Triangle School to highlight what they like most about it.
My name is Louis Pisoko, and my favorite thing to do in the computer is narrable. You can record your voice with pictures. For example, I'll be showing you about Storyboard That. My favorite tool is Upload. But Storyboard That you can use for science, social studies, and basically anything.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Iacobbe. My name is Alex Lang. And our favorite thing to do on the computer is counting. For example,
This is Olivia Pavarish, and one of my favorite things to do on computers are narrative. For example,
hello, I am Logan. Hello, I am Neil. And we are going to tell you my favorite tool about putting up videos about ourselves.
I'm presenting the Google Slides right now. This is one of the projects we do for the charity events. On Google Slides, I'm Kyle Cornell, and this is my favorite tool this year, and it is called VoiceThread. We use mainly VoiceThread for
Think Tags You is the greatest thing to learn on because it's fun.
classmate here, Chelsea. For her biography in a box, she used her Chromebook to look up.
Hi, my name is Jack Zaminsky, and in my opinion, I think Gmail is my favorite source of technology because you can. I'm Donna Canzano.
I'm Peter Schindler. I'm Anthony Mazzoni. And I'm Kyle.
We use cooking in Chinese. I'm Chao. I'm Lauren. And we are here introducing our favorite film presentation website, OneSpace.
I'm trying to show what I would like to highlight in technology is PeerDeck. See, all you have to do is enter a code right here. And then
So those were some comments from our fourth graders about what technology programs and projects we've enjoyed most this year. Highlights included communicating with teachers via Gmail, writing and illustrating digital stories using Narrable, interactive lessons with Peer Deck, interactive Kahoot assessments in Chinese, and a special thanks goes out to Mrs. Fajan's class, our fourth grade classroom reporters, Logan Eilbacher, who's here, and Neil Song for putting together this montage of students' comments about technology at Triangle for us to share with you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, for our Triangle students that are in the audience, why don't you stand up so we can recognize you and we can get you on camera. Excellent job. Thank you for coming down. You know, I know I speak on behalf of the board when we say we're very impressed by the way that you're integrating technology to enhance student learning each and every day across all of the curriculum areas. Very, very impressive. Mrs. President, may I ask for a brief recess so the board has an opportunity to express their appreciation directly to the students and their parents?
Absolutely, Dr. Schiff.
5-minute recess.
So we are back from our brief recess, and we are going to move on to our agenda, which first includes the mid-year organization agenda. So board members, here is what I'd like to do. Obviously, we have A through T listed for various items. I can either read every one of them, or we can just make one motion, and if you have any questions, we can pull out a specific item if you want to discuss it. Other than that, everything is listed on the agenda. The public can also view it online, and that way we won't be here for a half hour listening to me talk. Is everybody okay with that?
I move with your second suggestion that we make a motion to approve items A through T.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Second. Thank you. Okay. Any discussions or comments from anybody? Okay. Seeing none. We are moving to approve items A through T on the reorganization piece of our agenda. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Surely. Ms. Bogoshevsky?
Yes.
Ms. Santafonte?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Wasson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmood.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is correspondence as listed. We have already done the superintendent's report, which was wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
I have a couple of things to share.
Dr. Schiff, if you have anything else to share, please do so.
I would. Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple of quick pieces of good news for the board as well as for the public. The Hillsborough High School theater production of Godspell opened this past Friday evening and ran through Saturday. Congratulations to the entire cast and crew for another great show. The organization was honored to receive by the Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Awards for their spring musical cast. They received many nominations. The productions were nominated for 9 different awards, including Outstanding Overall Production, Direction, Choreography, Scenic Design, Lighting Design, Hair Makeup Design, Orchestra, Chorus, and Outstanding Performance by a supporting actor, Kevin Bazoko's role in Rum Tum Tugger. The Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Awards were started in 1996 to encourage and reward exceptional accomplishments in the production of high school theater. The Rising Star Awards ceremony will be held on Tuesday, June 2nd. Congratulations to all the students and staff to work on both of these amazing productions. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, congratulations go out to the Hillsborough High School girls softball team. On Saturday, the team advanced to its 13th Somerset County tournament final in the past 14 seasons with a 9-4 victory over Bernards. The Hillsborough softball team will continue in its quest for the title and will face second-seeded Watchung Hills at 7:30 p.m. next Saturday at Torpy Field. Congratulations to the team and its coaches. And finally, the Hillsborough High School baseball team is also headed to the Somerset County Tournament Championship game. The team current reigning tournament champions beat out Somerville 3-2 last Tuesday night in the semifinals. The team will now face Watchung Hills in the 43rd Somerset County Tournament final at the TD Bank Park on Saturday, May 16th at 3 p.m. Way to go, Raiders. I would also like to share that, that the board has received about 10 emails or so from parents at Hillsborough Elementary School concerning class sizes. And I just wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about our class size procedure and the process by which I make recommendations to the board, and the board funds these positions. Currently, our class sizes are maxed out at 22 students for grades kindergarten and first grade throughout the district, not just at Hillsborough Elementary, but in all 6 of our elementary schools. The class size max goes up in second grade to no more than 25 students per class. And that is something that we apply as we're developing the budget in the early fall. So we go through our budget development scenario based upon what we anticipate will be our class sizes based upon our enrollment projections early in the fall. Now those projections change over time, but our class size maxes have not. The board has continued with this process for, well, I'd say many years, maybe over half a dozen, if not more. Prior to my time, maybe some board members who have been here for a while can share exactly when it was, but it was at least half a dozen years or so, I would say, maybe more. So we have in our district not only class sizes that don't max out until 22 in grades K and 1 and 25 in grades 2 through 4, but we also provide additional services for children who may need a little bit more help. In Hillsborough Elementary School, we have close to a dozen teachers who are not assigned a classroom level position, either working in our academic support personnel, who are teachers that work directly with children that need additional help, or resource center teachers, special education teachers, who either push into a classroom or who pull children out of classrooms. So although our class sizes may get as high as 25 kids per class, there's always additional adult support in all classrooms throughout the district at the elementary level. Not only special education, but ASI as well. So I hope I'm not too wordy. I just want to give a little bit of background. The board did receive some questions and some concern from parents, but this is our reasoning, a little bit of history, and a little bit of background for the community as well as for the board's recollection. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Schiff. Sidebar on the Hillsborough baseball game, I saw that Mayor Thompson and Mayor Gallagher of Somerville made a friendly wager, and it appears that the mayor of Somerville will be wearing our jerseys at his next council meeting. That was the friendly wager. So a little bit of fun there for Hillsborough as well. So congratulations to everybody, and thank you for your clarifications as well, Dr. Schiff. So on to our meeting. Next is the approval of minutes. So may I have a motion to approve March 23rd's executive session minutes, please? Second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood. Sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions?
Okay.
Mr. Cohen?
Good. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve March 23rd, 2015's regular meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hello, Mrs. Santafonte. How are you? May I have a motion to approve April 13th, 2015's regular minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I abstain. Mrs. Boguszewski?
Gotcha. Motion passes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, on to committee reports. I think we have some committee reports this evening. So first, on to human resources, which is Mrs.
I was going to say, well, the committee chair wasn't at our last meeting.
Mhm.
I know what did come up and was addressed were the concerns of the attendance policy, that the concerns of the HEA were brought to the administration. They were addressed and reviewed in committee, and the committee still agreed that it was a basic attendance policy and that it would be approved for second reading. And then there were general I was going to say human resources that can't be addressed at this point. Contracts and stuff that we can't address at this point. But the attendance policy was addressed in committee.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. And on to governance. And since Mr. Kinst is not here, I will just briefly go through. We met on May 4th, and the bulk of our meeting was around presentations from organizations on our strategic planning. So we had 3 presentations that were given to the committee, and we will hopefully be making some recommendations shortly on what we feel was the best one. And this also, I should say at the time to the public, is if you are interested in participating in some of our strategic planning, that'll be happening. What's that time frame of October?
Yeah, we'll be sending out, yes. Thank you. We'll be sending out information probably in the late summer, early fall on different stakeholder committee meetings, and we will invite public to come in and participate.
Yeah, so please pay attention for those because obviously public participation is welcomed. And that really was about it. Went over a few readings of policies, and that was really about it. So I don't think we have anything else. Operations is meeting Wednesday,
yep.
And education is also meeting this week. So, okay, on to any comments from the public on new business. If you have any new business at this time, please come to the microphone, state your name and address clearly for the record.
Hi, I'm Danielle Greco, 17 Fox Hill Lane.
If you could just speak into the mic a little bit more. Thank you.
So I have 2 things to talk about. They're totally unrelated. The first one is the school calendar. And first I have to say, you're so fast. I didn't have time to complain about the 2015-16, and you've already got the next year's out. But I do have just one issue that I know it's already set, but going forward, I'd like you to consider this. The way we work emergency closings doesn't give working parents a lot of time. The way it works in 2015-16, if you have an emergency closing before January 4th, you lose Martin Luther King Day, which is January 18th. That's only 2 weeks' notice. And the same with President's Day. You only have the possibility of only having 2 weeks' notice before the day is taken away. And I know I like, as a working parent, to try to plan weekends with my children when I know we have time off. And it's just a major inconvenience. But I also feel like more important than my personal weekend plans is the fact that we're asking Hillsborough students to go to school on a national holiday, and it really upsets me. Like, as a patriotic citizen, I find it really upsetting that we're asking them to go to school on days dedicated to great Americans, and we're going to give them a 5-day Memorial Day weekend later in the year. It just doesn't seem right. Like, thinking back of the purpose of public schools, it's to educate citizens to participate in a democracy, and yet we're not honoring, some really great Americans, and it just really upsets me. So I just feel like going forward, those dates should not really be ones that are on the table for coming out for emergency closings. So that was my first line of business. Thank you. On a totally unrelated thing, I was one of the people that wrote about the class size in Hillsborough. And I spoke to Dr. Schiff, and I thank you for your time last week. And I understand the way the class sizes are set and how it's, pretty fluid until August 1st. I asked that the board really try to give as much time as possible, maybe all the way to August 15th, because I know my daughter, I think, got 3 new students this year. So she started off the school year with a pretty small classroom, and then, the class grew. And I really do worry about that happening again when she goes into 2nd grade. If she has 24 children in the class, but then by June she has 27 in the class, that's really a lot. And then talking with Dr. Schiff, I realized the way the class sizes are determined is also a little problematic for me, because the children are determined based on the number of regular ed kids in the class. And they could have children who are mainstreamed into the class from a special ed class, which doesn't bother me at all, provided the class sizes stay small. By not including those children who come in for science, social studies, art, music, what have you, there could be times during the day when my child is, on the records it looks like she's in a class of only 25, but there's really 27 or 28 in a music class or gym class or so on. I know that they come with an aide, but I feel like the children really deserve the attention of the teacher in the room. And I would imagine that the teacher in the room is really the one responsible, for the grading of that child and the care of that child as well as the aide. So I think that going forward, when you're thinking about class size, you need to also think about how many children are going into that class as well. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Marissa Sladek, and I'm at 681 Dover Court, Unit E. I also wrote about the class size, and this is my concern. This year, we have 5 teachers for 1st grade. Next year, we will have 4 teachers for 2nd grade. Our kids are going to have like 24-ish kids in their classrooms, and as my previous, person in my son's classroom, Ms. Greco, had mentioned, there can be upwards of 27, 28 kids in the classrooms. I did a little bit of research, and in July 2013, there was a letter to an editor that had been sent to the district from Woods Road parents. They had asked for an additional classroom. Last year, other parents had rallied and had asked for an additional section for 3rd grade. I don't think what we're asking for is unreasonable. I did a little bit of research again into the class sizes, and I noticed that there was a study done by the Department of Education for class size. And some of the information stated that students who attended smaller class sizes in their early grades generally perform better academically than their regular ed peers in reading, mathematics, and science than their peers who had larger class sizes by 4th, 6th, and 8th grade. Each grade level, in kindergarten through 3rd, in all types of schools, on every kind of standardized assessment for all subjects, the class sizes, or the students who had smaller class sizes, performed better than their peers did who had received a larger class size and even an assistant within that classroom. Smaller class sizes had a lower percentage of students who had been retained. Smaller class sizes had a lower percentage of students who, who benefited, basically they benefited more from the hands-on. They had benefited not only that, but they had better self-confidence. They had improved relationships with their peers. They had improved student participation and cooperation, which led to an increased confidence level. They had higher level of academic works within the smaller classroom sizes. And furthermore, those students who had special needs, they benefited because the smaller class size gave the teachers more hands-on, more ability to pick up on those learning differences that were necessary for them to succeed within the classrooms. My concern, if we do not add another class size, is that we will have the larger class sizes. Some second grade classes, I understand, do not have a co-teacher. It's the Hillsborough policy that there is not a co-teacher or a second teacher in those classrooms until 3rd grade and beyond. So you have some students who are in those regular education classrooms who have IEPs and who do not benefit from a second co-teacher to assist. Furthermore, those students who are put back into the classrooms from the self-contained for science, social studies, and specials, it is difficult for those teachers to be able to maintain for a larger class size. It's difficult for them. It's not just going to benefit our children, it's going to benefit our teachers. Teachers have a high demand right now. Between Common Core, PARCC testing, and SGOs, I'm concerned that the teachers will struggle to keep up with the demands that they're required to do. Teacher morale is not the greatest because of these changes, and I'm concerned that we are going to provide extra stressors for our teachers by not providing an additional classroom for our students. Hillsborough is known for its wonderful education system. I'm imploring you to do the right thing and add another teacher to our 2nd grade. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, new business from the public? Okay, seeing none. Any comments from the public on the action agenda? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any comments? Actually, we'll go through that as we start to approve the agenda. So, Dr. Schiff, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask for the board's consideration of the following motions under the area of education: to approve travel and related expenses, to approve the HIB investigative list, to approve the district Title IX coordinator for current year, and to approve the policies listed below for second reading: attendance policy and regulation, high school graduation policy, and early graduation policy as well. Approve the teacher participation in the Next Generation Science Standard Summer Institute. Approve or submit summer school application for summer enrichment programs, to approve the application for the ESL summer enrichment program, and to approve change in out-of-district placement.
May I have a motion to approve items A1 through A8 of the action agenda, please?
So moved.
May I have a second, please? Second. Any discussion? No? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please. Mr. Mahmood?
Surely. Ms. Bogoshevsky?
Yes.
Ms. Santafonte?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen? Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Wasson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Schiff?
Okay, I ask for the board's consideration of the following motions that I'm making in the area of human resources: to approve the listed resolutions, to approve the retirements of Anthony Cordasco, who is an applied tech teacher at our high school, who has been with us since September of 2000. We thank him for his service. Carol Cumbra, who is a lunch aide, who has worked with us since April 24th of 1990. Debbie Francolini, who has worked for us since 1996, was a secretary 12 months at Buildings and Grounds. Dawn Roslin, teacher of biology at the high school, who has been with us since 2005. Marty Thomas, applied tech teacher at the high school, who's been with us since 1999. Nancy Watkins, a family and consumer science teacher at the high school, has been with us since 1995, and I'd like to thank all of those staff members for their service to our district and our community. Also approve the resignations listed below, as well as the leave of absences and the appointments of a teacher, long-term substitute, instructional assistants, substitutes as listed, and approve the appointments as per the attachment, as well as the teachers listed, extra period coverage, and the renewal of first, second, and third year non-tenured certificated staff, and approve the renewal of non-tenured administrators for the following school year. Approve 2015 summer enrichment stipends, and approve policies for second reading as listed prior to: attendance of teaching staff and attendance of support staff, as well as substance abuse for both teaching and support staff.
May I have a motion to approve items B1 through B13 on the action agenda, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please. Mr. Mahmood?
Surely. Ms. Bogoshevsky?
Yes.
Ms. Santafonte?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Wasson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Schiff?
Ask for the board's consideration of the following motions under the area of operations: to approve the monthly financials, line item transfers, revised policy for second reading on bus driver and bus aide responsibility.
May I have a motion to approve items C1 through C3 of the action agenda, please?
So moved.
Second. You know, you threw me off by looking at me, actually.
Well, I'm just trying to be polite, Mr. Gillette. Roll call, please, Mr. Mahmood.
Ms. Bogoshevsky?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Santafonte?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen? Yes. Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Mrs. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Wasson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Threw everybody off now.
Totally.
Yeah, no discussion. It was good.
That was very good.
No tough questions.
So at this time, I'd like to ask from the public if we have any comments on old business at this time. Please step up to the microphone. And we don't. So seeing none there, I ask, do we have any comments from the board on old business? And Mrs. Bogoshevsky, you're anxious to speak, so.
It was just a question that was asked by a few parents. On our last board meeting, I understand one of the coaches, I believe it was basketball, retired or resigned. And they were just wondering when we're going to find a new replacement. Or if we have
Yeah, I'm not sure of the status of that. I'll have to talk with the Director of Athletics, Mr. Finizzi, to find out where it is, and I can certainly report back to the board.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Susan?
I just wanted to point out that prom is this Friday, so I want to wish all of our seniors well and tell them to be safe during prom night, and weekend after prom. I'm hopeful that we won't hear any disturbing news of things that happen either at the prom or down at the shore. So have fun.
Yes.
But not too much fun.
Yes, it is with bated breath that I think everybody worries about this time of year. So thank you for bringing that up. Mr. Cohen.
Old and new business. Old business, I just wanted to let the board know that last meeting we were addressed by a young lady, Anastasia Rapani. Just want to let everybody know she did attend Spirit Night. She made it back in time 3.5 hours, not 4, but they allowed her to participate. So I think all's well that ends well, but doesn't mean that we shouldn't take a look at massaging the policy for the future and not ignoring kids that are of excellent academic standards who may or may not be participating in a school-sanctioned activity. Secondly, I just want to wish Ms. Bogacheski a happy birthday.
Stole my thunder, Mr. Cohen.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have given me a high.
That is quite okay. And on your comments, I think that, obviously it's something that the board may or may not be discussing in the future in committee first, and if that's the will, of the board.
Yeah, it's actually on the Education Committee agenda to discuss for this week.
So, thank you very much. And Mr. Gillette.
All right, I have 3 things since it's so early. First of all, I think last week, at the end of the week, was Nurses Day. We have a couple of nurses on our board. Congratulations on Nurses Day. But also, we have about a dozen nurses working in our school district, and each year I use this time to congratulate the wonderful work our nurses do with the kids. We talk about our staff being so caring, and our nurses get a chance to really show. I mean, teachers do also, obviously, but I mean, our nurses, because of the nature of their job, they really get a chance to show how much they care every day. And I know my kids have had some great experiences with our school nurses, and I talk to parents that have nothing but kind words to say about our nurses. So wish them a happy Nurses Week. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Also, I wanted to say about our class sizes. Thank you, Dr. Schiff, for your explanation, which is about the same as the explanation you gave last year. This is which just means it's an ongoing issue, class sizes. Class sizes, everyone comes to us and talks about the maximum class sizes. I don't think that board members really think about the maximum class size. I, anyway, think about our average class size across the district. We have many, many classrooms across the district in all different grades at 6 different elementary schools. So when we say that for kindergarten and first grade, our maximum class size is 22, well, our average class size across that is, I think, a little bit under 20. Under 20. And that's what we want to be. We want to be around under 20. That means some classrooms are going to have 18 students. Some will be all the way up to 22. It's a function of having neighborhood schools where there are 3, 4, or 5 sections of each grade at each school in the elementary schools. That's just the way it is, dividing the number of kids that we have for each grade in each neighborhood school comes up with 18, 19, 20, 21, or 22 students. Likewise, in our 2nd through 4th grade, we like to have an average of around 22. Sometimes it's as low as 19. Sometimes it's up to a maximum of 25. There is a solution to fix that, but it's not a solution that I think we'd want to do, which would be to eliminate the neighborhood school concept and go with the concept that some other towns, maybe geographically smaller but more populous than ours, have done, which is to have a 1st grade school, a 2nd grade school, a 3rd grade school. Then you could put your exact number of desired average students in each classroom, because you're dividing it by many, many, many sections. You're dividing it by 18 or 20 or more sections of 1st grade, divided up exactly in 1st grade to 20 students or 19 per classroom, as the case may be, kind of what we've done at 5th through 8th grade. That completely goes against our concept of the neighborhood school. I know, and when I say neighborhood school, I should put my hands up in the quotes, because I know kids that live where I live go all the way out to Woodford, kids maybe live somewhere else. But basically, we use the neighborhood school concept. So please, when you're out there writing about this, Gene, or whatever, that you're not saying Hillsborough puts 25 students in the classroom. Well, we put under 22, I think, at the 2nd through 4th grade level in a classroom. Sometimes, by the way the numbers work out, you might be in a classroom with 24, 25. Other years, you might be in with 19 or 20. That's the way it works out. The third thing I wanted to mention was, this week there was an ethics ruling about board member, I don't know if it was a ruling or a definition.
It was an
advisory message about board member involvement in, for lack of a better term, the hiring practices at the school. Boards are only generally involved with hiring the superintendent and maybe might play a larger role in hiring the maybe an assistant superintendent or the business administrator. Any other level in our district, that'd be supervisors, principals, and any other district-wide level, generally not involved. And I know board members have sometimes in the past, I've been on the board now 8 years, and I know that sometimes in the past, board members have served on stakeholder committees when we've looked for new principals. That was always a gray area, I think, in the past. There are some board members that wanted it, didn't want it. Now it seems that this advisement opens the door to board members being on such a stakeholder committee. So what I'd like to ask Dr. Schiff is, let's assume, and it's the only way you can get a good answer on this, I think, is to assume that we want to be a very active board. I don't know that we do, but let's assume that. And can we get some guidance from our own attorney about what this means, assuming we want to be super active and do everything that this new ruling might allow? And what would we be able to do, and get some advice on that?
Sure, I'd be happy to do so. It was very interesting how New Jersey school boards responded to the ruling. They responded by sending out to all of their members, and hopefully you all had a chance to read it, this new advisory, which I think surprised them. And their response to their members were, be very careful because there's possible conflicts with micromanagement and other type of things within there. So it was an interesting thing that kind of broadened the powers and scope of the board, but our professional association had a cautionary tale to doing it. So I think it's very wise to get our own counsel's advice on it to determine what would be appropriate. Currently, the board does have a policy that restricts board members from sitting on non-board-led committees. So we would have to change our policy, which we could certainly do so.
I think we may have did something or made some refinements to that policy after we had some board members on like a stakeholders committee in the many, maybe 6, 7 years ago or 8 years ago.
Right.
And we changed it because we didn't want that, but maybe it's time to.
Sure, we definitely get an advisory opinion from our
Thank
attorney.
you.
Does anyone else have any comments from the board? No?
I would just like to share quickly that last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and we had celebrations throughout the district from our HSAs, our administrators, our teachers celebrating each other. We have an extraordinary group of educators in this district, and they matter, and they do wonderful, wonderful work each and every day for the children of this community. I just want to take a moment and applaud their work. Thank you to our teachers and staff.
Yes, thank you very much. And lastly, on our informational section is enrollment, fire and crisis drills, and suspensions. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.